All right, hello y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back to another video. I don't even know how to start this off. Okay, I don't want to go into too much, because I don't want to like yammer on. But I tried to record this video already a few days ago, and I went to edit it today just to see that all my recordings didn't really record. I found 4 different mods, just 4 random little mods that I wanted to look at. And one of the mods isn't really new because one had an update. So yeah, it got updated. Really nice new feature. It's the Echelon. But without further ado, let's jump to our first mod, because I don't want to talk too much now. All right, so the Echelon got a new update. So this is gonna be the first mod we're gonna look at, is the Echelon. So it got a really large update that I, in my first video, didn't even know existed until I looked at it just randomly in the video, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, what the freak? So apparently the Echelon now has a railgun. It's got a railgun attached to it. Not even kidding. Right here. So if we make our vehicle framework fabricator right here in our interior modules. Oops, did not mean to pause the game. Open it up. Specific vehicle upgrades, Echelon, and then we go down to railgun, because this is the new tab that got added. We got a whole railgun now. You got the Mark 1 basic railgun, limited aim assist, and the Mark 2 with aim assist. So we are gonna make this and we're gonna test it out. And considering how I already tested it out, it's freaking insane. So the railgun actually comes out of this little middle part right here, which I really like how the mod creator like utilized all the different parts of the submarine to make it make sense, because right here, like these little tubes right here is where the torpedoes come out. So, I like how these little extra exterior details actually have a reason to be here. Let's spawn 10 bone sharks. They ain't gonna be able to do nothing to me anyways. So we got some bone sharks here. So if I click the mouse button, I have the railgun selected, as you can see. If I just hold it. Okay, we didn't really get to see it that well. Hold on. But you can't, there we go. I'm trying to free look. Oh, you have to turn, okay, it's gonna turn it automatically. As you can see, it's a really powerful railgun. It actually pushes the whole submarine back every time you shoot it. That's how freaking strong it is. Like that's not me. I'm not backing up. That's the railgun doing that. Freaking insane. I think it does go through creatures, though it's gonna be a little hard to hit a collat in a game like Subnautica, but and I think like that little that like charging up sound that we keep hearing, I think it'll only do that like as it's lining up for the shot, because I do have the aim assist one on, and whenever it's like lined up and ready to shoot, then it'll just like release. But if I just do it like this, and I'm looking at nothing, it's not gonna shoot. It's just gonna stay charged up until I look at something, and then it's within my range and field of view, and it's gonna fire. I wonder what, actually, speaking of range, you're 90 meters away. Okay, yeah, it's got some pretty decent range to it as well. There's our Reaper Leviathan. As we can see, he has 5,000 health. So if we charge with the railgun, just a single shot from the railgun, 4,000. That's 4,000 damage. I mean, that's 2-shotting a Reaper with this thing, and you're barely having to do anything. Like, come on now. How much energy does this drain, actually? Let me turn the energy off. And it doesn't even drain that much energy, like all things considered. Okay, so maybe the reason that it was like charged up for as long as it was whenever I was swimming around is because I had the energy turned off, but it looks like it'll drain like a few ticks of your energy, and then it'll shoot automatically. Yeah, okay. So you can see that's what the railgun looks like from the middle. I got it slowed down so we can see it a little better. Yeah, you can see that little opening. It's open right there, and it should close up in a few seconds. Yep, it's gonna close back up. That's super cool. Okay, so you can recolor it as well. That's really nice, but I don't know 100% if recoloring was already a thing or not. If it was, then y'all correct me on that. But if not, then well, that's another new feature that the Echelon now has, the ability to recolor it. All right, so our next mod on this list is going to be the magnet boots mod. So all this mod does is it lets you attach your vehicles to other vehicles as well as your base. So if I have any of it works with modded vehicles as well. That's why I have the Echelon here. The first thing you need to do is you need to make the actual module so you can actually attach your vehicles to things. So if you head over to the vehicle fabricator and jump over to Seamoth upgrades general, and you're going to see the magnet boots module upgrade right here. You're also going to see that for the prawn suit, and I don't think, yeah, there's a general run right here as well. Okay, never mind, my fault. General is probably for the modded vehicles. That's my fault. if we grab this, yeah, I can't put this in here, but if I put the sea moth, yeah, I can put the sea moth one in here. And then the general is for the modded vehicles if you happen to have any. Okay, gotcha. Anyways, if you hop in your vehicle, say I wanted to hook my vehicle onto the Cyclops, all I have to do is drive up next to it. And the default key to like hook your vehicle onto other vehicles is to press G. So you're gonna see it says magnet boots engaging, magnet boots ready, and it automatically kicked me out. And now my vehicle is, it's attached, okay? It's attached in our imagination. All right, it's held together by a magnet. So I mean, it's not gonna have like a secure type of thing on it, you know, that we can actually see, but it is attached. So if I turn on the Cyclops and we drive around, so there's our Seamoth right there. So I just start driving around. We can see the Seamoth is still, you know, like hooked onto my Cyclops. So this basically just allows you to take multiple vehicles to different biomes. Like it's got some practical use basically. So if you wanted to use this in survival and say you wanted to go to the lava zone, you can only really take 2 vehicles to the lava zone at a time because of the, you know, limitation with the Cyclops being able to hold only 1 vehicle. So with this mod, you can have, you know, you can have like 3 Seamoths, 3 prawn suits, and something else docked in your Cyclops if you want. Though it might be a little bit dangerous, you know, considering your vehicles are still going to be on the outside, and I think they can still be damaged by other creatures. So yeah, just something to be aware of if you do go into a dangerous area with that. And if you wanted to hook onto a base, and if you press G while there's nothing for you to hook onto, it'll say there's no viable surface nearby, as you can see. So if we just float up next to our base, press G, boom, and I'm right on, hooked onto the base, just like that. So yeah, nothing too crazy, but it does have some practical use, and I thought it was kind of funny. Yeah, that's the magnet boots mod. So now we can jump to our next mod on this list. All our mods are going to be like on the more simple side, because I was hoping for this to be a shorter video. All right, so our next mod is going to be a really simple and straightforward mod. It's just going to be called the zooming mod, and basically it's going to let you zoom in and out of, it's basically just going to let you zoom in and out of things. So if I'm just swimming around like this and I click middle mouse button, well, actually first, if we jump to our options, go to mods, you can configure all these mods. As we can see, the camera zoom is right here. You can change the Cyclops cameras, what your key is for the zoom in, the FOV zoom speed. You got player. You can do instant zoom or like the little like zoop, that kind of zoom. So yeah, let me test it out for you. So if I click middle mouse button, because that's what my player zoom is set to, it'll just zoom in, and now I'm zoomed in. I can see things up close, which is, you know, sort of useful. I suppose in Subnautica, I feel like in Subnautica things are really hard to miss. And then if I make an instant zoom, then it'll just, you know, like instantly snap to the zoom instead of that little zoop it keeps doing, like boom, 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 boom. And as you already saw from the settings, you can do this from your vehicles. So move, can you stop farting on my ceiling, please? From the vehicle, we click it, boom, zoom in, out, in and out. Now for the Cyclops, it's gonna work a little bit differently because the Cyclops has like individual cameras. Why are my frames like in the toilet right now? You can't zoom in while you're just like driving the Cyclops around like this. Okay, yep, something just exploded underneath me. You can't zoom in while you're driving around like this, but if you go in the cameras, you know, you can zoom in on either of these cameras, and mine is set to left shift and left control to zoom in and out. So if I hold left shift, it's gonna slowly zoom in. Hold left control, it's gonna slowly zoom out. Very nice. Okay, no. So it'll automatically reset your camera if you switch to a different like camera on your Cyclops. I thought it would like keep the, you know, zoom the same or whatever, but it doesn't. Now just to make you aware, it does sort of mess with the graphics of the game a little bit, I think, because if we look at the text on the bottom, you know, you see how it's like all smooth and stuff, it looks regular. And then if you zoom in, you can see it becomes like really sharp. Yeah, just keep that in mind whenever you're zooming in and out of things, and also keep that in mind in case you want to up the level of zoom that your vehicles or whatever the heck, you know, you want to do has, because if you zoom in too much, your game might start looking a little strange. So just keep that in mind. All right, so our last mod for today is going to be the recycle. I think it's called the recycle locker mod, I think. Yeah, it's called the recycle locker mod. So literally all it does is it adds a new buildable to your interior modules right here. I have a lot of modules in here, so I have to like scroll all the way down. But all the way down here, you can see the recycle locker, scientist from an Altera. It's got some like sort of precursor textures to it, I think. I might be mistaken though. Literally how this locker works is whatever you put into the locker, it'll just put back into your inventory as resources. So if I open the locker and I put my Sea Glide in here, it's gonna give me everything I use to make the Sea Glide back. So if I just slap it in here, you can see it gave me all my stuff back. So if I put my because we can see the Sea Glide requires a battery, copper wire, titanium, and 1 lubricant to make. But if I put the Sea Glide in here, you can see it only gave me the copper wire, the titanium, and the battery. So I wonder if it's doing that because the Sea Glide is a little more advanced to make. Okay, so it might not give you back resources if they're really complicated to make, I guess. Even though like lubricant is literally just the creepvine seed cluster. So I don't know. Whatever. It'll give you some of the resources back that you used to make then, since it doesn't seem to give you all whenever I put the Sea Glide in there. But you can see, you know, you just slap whatever in there and it'll put it right back in your inventory as a resource. And once you know, this locker is gonna look a little weird right here. Like you can see part of my item is like hanging off the freaking box. But if you close it, open it back up, that item will be gone. Now you can't put anything that doesn't have a recipe in here. So I can't like slap acid mushrooms in here and get anything back because you can't like, you know. Anyways, that is what all I have for y'all. Thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.